This is the site's mobile capstone project that we developed for the University of Missouri's Computing Sites organization. They have multiple sites, computer labs, and inventory locations around campus. And we are developing an app for their employees to track their productivity to maintain these labs around campus. So right here we have the login page, and we're using sign in with Google so that the employees can log in using their university credentials. As you can see here, if we try to sign in with a personal Gmail account, it is going to not allow them to access the app, and it'll prompt them to log in with a umsystem.edu email. So we can go ahead and log in with some university credentials, and it will actually utilize the two-factor authentication. And then once that user is authenticated, it will open the app right to the profile view. As you can see their full name. Their image is taken from their Google profile account. And you can see their university email. You can see the key set that the employee may have, what keys are assigned to them, and what they are for. We can see any positions that they've been assigned. We'll be able to add and remove positions later on in this demonstration. Um, and the last time they logged in, and then the user can also clock in and clock out. And all of this information will be stored on a remote database. And then we can go ahead and move on to the map view. So, yep, we'll just allow location services, and then we can see all the buildings around campus that have those sites we were mentioning earlier. We can filter by group. These are the groups that the computing sites uses to separate their buildings. And once you click a pin, you'll be able to open up to this transition view, and it'll list any sites that belong, any computer labs that belong in that building, and any inventory sites if they exist in that building. So you can navigate to a computing site. It'll tell you what group it is and what kind of site it is. If this one is a classroom, and you can see the equipment that is in there, if it has any PCs, any Macs, when they were last cleaned, any printers, if it has a clock, inventory, whiteboard. You can see a mini map displayed. And you can also get directions. It'll automatically go to Apple Maps and calculate a walking route. And you can see any pictures that we have of a poster board. And then we can open up and see a calendar. This is for classroom sites. You can pick any date that you wish and then open the calendar, and it'll show any reservations that are happening in that room on that day. So that's helpful for those employees to see if they can go in and clean at that time. Yep, and then we can open and redirect to open that in the browser if they wish. And then we can submit a form. So there are multiple forms that site employees need to fill out. Hourly cleaning is one of them. And this will just list all the computers there in that site, and it'll sort them by whichever computers need to be cleaned the most. And if it's been longer than 7 days or so, the date will turn red or orange or yellow, depending. And you can see that summary of whatever computers that they've indicated, and then they can submit that cleaning. And then we can go ahead and submit an inventory submission. In here, the user will have to confirm all of these counts before they can say that they've used any supplies or that they're just confirming they're all there. Either that, or they can update the count in there if there was a delivery, or or perhaps the person before them had counted incorrectly. So certain supplies will track what level it's at in terms of 0 to 100. So we know. And then we can enter any comments for this inventory entry. And the user will be able to say and indicate if this was a move from another site. Sometimes we have to move supplies from one location to another. So it'll give you a drop-down list. And then it'll show you the summary of what they've reported. And then they have the option of no supplies used or supplies used. Both will submit an inventory entry, but if they indicate supplies used, we're going to go to the next view. This is where it tries to clarify if it's a discrepancy or if it was a delivery, or if they had indicated it was a move, it would just confirm that it was a move as well. So we can go ahead and submit that. And then this is where they're going to say that they used certain amounts of inventory. So let's say we used 1 ream of black and white. We would reduce that by 1. And then maybe put in a comment. And they can say whether or not they actually use that supply, or they're actually just moving it to another site. So whichever one, and then it'll show the summary and we can submit. And then site captain is something that certain positions have to do every once in a while. They're going to have to click on every single one of these before they can submit the form to make sure they're doing all the steps. They can indicate if there was an issue or multiple issues. We'll just show one. If it's a chair, it's not going to ask for a ticket number. If it's something like a computer is broken, then it'll ask for a ticket number. And this is where users create tickets in the University of Missouri's ticket system, and then they'll report it here. And then labels, if there's a label that needs to be replaced, they can choose from any of the computers or printers. And they'll have to indicate that they submitted inventory. If there's no inventory in this site, they won't have to answer that question. And they can also request for any supplies that they feel are like in need of for that site. They just choose a supply type and how many. And then that'll show them what they've put in so far. And then it'll ask for confirmation, tell you that it was reported. And then we have a site ready. It's pretty similar to the site captain, just ask for some more specific information. You can toggle yes and no. You can also report issues and supply requests here. And any statuses such as that. Again, yep, there are any other issues that you wish to do and comments. So we can move on to the admin panel. That will only show up if the user has administrator access. So as we can look here and see view all users. These are all the users that are stored in the database. The picker will ask you can filter by authorized. If they're authorized, that'll mean that they have a system account and that they've been confirmed to be an employee who should be able to see the contents of this app. Unauthorized will be the opposite. And unauthenticated would be if the user had deleted their account, they no longer have a login for this app, but we do still have their user information in terms of their name and their user ID. And if we go into the detail, yep, we can assign a position. So we can assign all 3 positions, see if they're clocked in, clocked out, when their account was created, their last login, their key sets. We can remove or authorize them. We can add them as an admin or remove their admin access or delete their user account. So then if we go to the key sets, this is where we can just filter by the key set name or the key code or the user. So we can go and search for 04 and it should filter for key set 04. And then we can also filter for user instead of key set, for example. over on the left. It'll give us a drop down of the users, and this user has 2 key sets with them. So that is the key set view, and then buildings, computing sites, inventory sites, those all look very similar. They're the same list that we have there down at the bottom on the tab. Just like that, yep. And then back to the admin view, we can filter here by groups. And then in all computers, you can find a site or do all of them. It'll show you the computers. We can filter by, or we can sort by the name or the last cleaned. And then we can view same thing for printers. It's all very similar. And then for supplies, we can choose an inventory site and see what the current supply is. See the current levels. And then we can open up images. This is where the admin can upload or delete images that are stored in a certain site from their own device. So if we go to profile picture, if we wanted to change, or the board, yep, what image is there, we can just pick an image and it'll prompt that. And then another option is to delete any current pictures that are in there. So that's the one we have in there. But yeah, we don't want to delete that, but it'll ask for confirmation. And then this is where the admin can review any submission data submitted by their employees. So inventory entries, you can load by dates, you can sort it by ascending or descending, and it'll show a summary of all the information that they've submitted. Anything that is red is what they had changed. And then the next summary would be hourly cleanings. It's the same thing. You can sort by that and load, but we'll just show you all of them. See which computers they cleaned. And then, yep, you can filter by user. You can filter by other options as well. If you look to the user, you can sort by building. Same thing for site readies. It's all very similar. And then issues, you're able to, same thing, dates, but you can also search by the description. You can search by the user, the resolution status, and the issue type or the submission type. Yeah, the issue type, all of that. You can long hold and resolve or delete an issue, or you can just single click, go into the detailed view, resolve it, assign it to a certain user. So we can assign it to the current user logged in right now. And it'll also give you the option to unassign it, and then we can go back. And we can also go to, if you go back to the issues, we can click edit and do a multi-select, and that'll allow us to delete these issues in bulk if maybe we've resolved them and we don't need them any longer. Supply requests, you can also resolve those or delete them. And then if we go to the task view for a employee, they can see the site captains that they've been assigned, and that'll redirect them to the site view. And they can also see assigned issues. So we've just assigned this issue. They can resolve it or unresolve it. They can filter their issues by if they've been resolved or if they have not. And then they'll also be able to see their recent hourly cleanings. And that concludes the demonstration of our site's mobile project. Thank you.